Save money, be frugal, build a nest egg. Priceless words of advice from my own mom and dad. So why are they mad that I'm delaying getting my own home? According to a Forbes.com survey from summer of 2019, 50% of millennials are moving back in with their parents after college. It's important for both parties to understand why this is happening, though. I believe that whenever a student returns home from college, it's not a failure to launch, but a desire to succeed. Simply by living at your parents' house, you gain a plethora of many different benefits. Among them, of course, is saving money, but there's many others in the path to self-sufficiency. So the first hurdle on living on your own is, of course, attaining your own living space. The market is as tough as it's ever been, and the U.S. Bureau for Labor Statistics says that the price of housing has gone up 106% since 1990. This means that the U.S. Labor Bureau states that the median price for housing back in 1990 was $123,000. Adjusting for inflation, this would come out to around $243,000 in today's market. Now, the U.S. Bureau also says that the average price of a house in today's market would be $320,000. Now, that's a $78,000 difference from what you would have paid for your first house in 1990 to what you would have paid in today's climate. And that's very steep for any college student to try and surmount. So you might say, all right, housing's out of the option. Let's look at renting instead. But that too seems to be a dead end. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics also says that the price of rent has gone up 136% over the last 30 years. Meaning that an apartment that would have costed $500 in 1990 would cost over $1,000 in today's market. And that is astounding. That's not something that anyone can do. So if you're like me, and you're a college student, and you still, making minimum wage, and you still want to move out, they give you the option of making a payment plan. And if you choose to do that, you're buying into a very dangerous system. Debts. The second hurdle, and possibly the most dangerous for any college student. Debts are easily accrued from many different things. For example, I have to pay for my own tuition. Similarly, my parents had to pay for their own tuition. However, what I pay is nearly 4 times what my parents paid to go to school. To compensate, colleges offer loans that they'll give to students so that they may pay it off over the course of a few years. So now we have a college student who is paying for rent and also has to pay off a massive debt. In fact, a Forbes.com survey also from this year says that of the 44.7 million people with student loans, an average of $35,000 is owed between them per person. And that's just student loans. College students also young adults also have to furnish their home if they were to move out, buy groceries if they were to move out. Simply by looking at the Consumer Price Index, again, courtesy of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we can see that the average cost of living has basically doubled. So everything from buying groceries to paying for your bills has gone up in price, making it just that much more difficult to attain anything. Lastly, moving in with your parents, or the greatest solution to all of this would simply be to save all the headache for later and to move back in with your parents. Moving back in can offer a lot of different things. Living with your parents, the rent is generally cheaper than it would be if you were to live anywhere else in the world. And it also gives you the ability to potentially trade chores for a lower rent. For example, you could offer to mow the lawn or clean the garage in order to get the rent down to its lowest potential value, saving you money. And since you're saving money on rent, it allows you to save money for other things, expenses, that are immediate and other emergencies. So living with your parents not only has that benefit, but also you know what you're getting into. You've lived with these people for most of your life anyways. You know their habits and their hygiene. So it really does make sense that these are the people you choose as your roommates. So first, I showed you the disparity between buying a house 30 years ago and buying a house today. Then I showed you all of the different financial drains that college students face in their endeavors to be self-sufficient. Lastly, I showed you the greatest possible solution for all of this, which is simply just living at home. So I believe that when a student returns home, it's not that they failed, but that they're taking secure financial steps for their future. It may be a bit embarrassing, but it's the soundest financial decision any student can make. Thank you for listening.
Very good.